Hey there guys, Aldershot here, and today we're gonna do a Steam backlog video on Cargo Commander. Now this game has actually been requested and recommended by a subscriber of ours, Last Flame. So if you guys have any requests or recommendations for this channel, feel free to leave it in the comments or contact us through Twitter. Alright, now you're not familiar with our Steam Backlog series is when we take a look at older games that was released on Steam and just basically do an impression video on it. Cargo Commander has been released on Steam back in 2012, I believe, so it's not really that old, but old enough to be put into this series anyways. It's on sale for about $10 at its normal price. I managed to snag it up for a mere $2 or around that price not too long ago during a sale. So you can actually pick up the game relatively cheap if you keep an eye on it, so do keep that in mind. If you're curious to what Cargo Commander is, it's essentially a physics-based platform shooter. Alright, that's the best way I can describe it. Let's get into the gameplay so we can kind of show off the game a little bit. We're going to continue a career that we already got started so we can skip through the tutors and all that stuff. So here we are, we're the Cargo Commander. You can actually zoom in and out of the map. Now that jittering was my mouse's fault. I'm having some issues with the mouse wheels, not the game's fault, so do keep that in mind. And at the beginning of your day, you'll grab your cup of coffee as anybody would, and when you're holding the cup of coffee, that will actually help you move a little bit faster, which is actually quite helpful in this game. Something else you're going to want to do at the beginning of your day, you're going to want to activate your magnets. And when you activate your base's magnets, it'll attract these giant cargo containers that's just kind of floating in space, and you kind of enter it and collect up all the loot that you find inside. Now you do have a drill, and the drill is quite useful for destroying platforms so you can get to different areas of the cargo compartments and containers and all that stuff. Now when you go into space, you are actually, there's no gravity, so you can kind of just float around freely, and you kind of use that in order to get to cargo container to cargo container. It's also very useful for getting into harder to reach parts of different cargo containers, as well as sometimes not all platforms will support your way to get into whatever level you're trying to get to. Now we did pick up a new weapons, and you can actually collect different weapons throughout the game. Alright, so when the alarm sounds off, that's when you know the cargo containers are being destroyed because of a wormhole. Alright, and that's when you kind of want to get out there as fast as possible, as not to die in space, and make your way back home, just kind of like that. And when you do reach home, you basically drop off all the loot back into your cargo compartment, I guess you can say, and all that loot gets transferred into resources and money and all that stuff, in which you can use to upgrade your weapons and your various tools, and you can do that through your workbench just right here. So let's upgrade our drill. Sure, why not? Yeah, there we go. Buy. So that's basically how you upgrade some of your tools in this game. So it does have a progression system, which is nice to see. Now, just because you're done one cargo container, that doesn't mean you're done for the day. You're going to call in more with the magnet. The game actually does have mobs as well, and because there's mobs, you can attack things. You have your melee and you have your gun as well. Now do keep in mind that you only have a limited amount of ammo per day, or at least until you find more ammo throughout your travels. If you do run out, that's it. You're going to have to just either continue on without any ammo for your gun, or you can sleep the day off and start a new day where you'll have a new set of ammo. Alright, so a little bit of resource management will be required in this game. That's actually kind of interesting. I do like that. The coolest feature is definitely getting from cargo container to cargo container. Each cargo container will feature its own unique puzzles and elements as well. Not all of them, but most of them. Some of them will have gravity, some of them won't. Some of them, they'll be spinning, which will affect the gravity on the container. Alright, so right here I can't get any higher, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually drill through this wall use the no gravity in space to our advantage and drill back up here to a higher platform. That's essentially how you're going to want to get around to around the harder areas in this game. And that's definitely one of the more interesting parts of the game, the whole weightlessness. The physics are actually done quite well for the weightlessness of the game. Mobs are actually quite dangerous as they'll kill you, obviously. But yeah, the whole weightlessness definitely adds a whole new element to the platforming. It definitely adds its own spin into platforming, that's for sure. It changes your way of thinking about how to reach one platform to another, as you don't really need to jump from platform to platform. You can actually take the space, the anti-gravity of space to your advantage, and kind of get from one area to another a lot quicker than you normally would in other platformers. So we're kind of stuck here as we can't jump any higher. So what we're going to do again is punch through the wall here and jump back into our home base just like that, because we don't want to get caught up in a set of destroying or destructible or just, you know, bad things. Alright, we don't want to get caught up in that mess is what I'm trying to say, as you'll obviously die, and that's never a good thing. Alright, so our ammo is still pretty good and our health is still pretty good. Let's see, we lost our coffee, so let's grab another one. And we're going to call another container. And that's generally how your day is going to go on. You're going to just call as many containers as you possibly can till you're low on resources, either on health or on ammo. And just kind of progress and collect as much loot as possible, as there is also a point system, and the more loot you collect during the day, the higher your points as well. And there is a global and a friend leaderboard, so it has some arcadey features as well, as the points do sort of matter if you do care about the leaderboards and stuff. And you can also unlock new things through getting new points and just doing better in general as well. There's collectibles and new equipments and all that kind of stuff. So there's actually quite a few loot containers here, so we're definitely going to want to grab that. You do kind of want to be quick in this game, as if you're too slow, you won't be able to collect as much loot. As, you know, the containers will get destroyed after a little while. We're kind of cornered here, which kind of sucks, and we just died. So you can actually get cornered by mobs sometimes, which is a little bit annoying. But there you go. The aesthetics is pretty nice. It does have a nice cell shading kind of aesthetic to it. Very, very cartoony. So, I mean, it's not the greatest looking game I've ever seen by any means, but at the same time, it's not ugly. It's actually quite good looking. Maybe not the best, but definitely quite good looking, and it definitely keeps up with its theme quite well. Actually, you know what, scratch that, it is a pretty good looking game. I actually do like the aesthetics a little, quite a bit. Alright, and you know, it's a $10 little indie game, so what do you expect, right? So that's basically Cargo Commander in a nutshell. The anti-gravity definitely makes this game. That's definitely the most satisfying portion of this game for sure. However, exploring cargo container to cargo container is probably what's been keeping me coming back to this game, as I do want to do better each day and collect more and more loot and kind of get better each time I play, as this game does have that rinse and repeat element. Alright, I should also mention that you can actually travel to different systems as well, where you'll collect different loots and explore different cargo containers as well. So there you go, guys, that's Cargo Commander. Not a bad game, not a bad game at all, actually. You know, sometimes you can get cornered by mobs. The game does corner you sometimes, which can be a little bit annoying. That wasn't the first time that something like that has happened. But if you're careful enough, I guess you can avoid that altogether. So there is that. The game looks pretty alright, not bad at all. It has a nice cartoony aesthetic to it. And the main draw is definitely its unique gameplay. The whole anti-gravity thing, the exploring of the cargo containers. It does have a nice sense of humor as well, so there is also that. There you go, guys. That's Cargo Commander. Not a bad game. I actually am quite enjoying the game. So I do recommend it, especially if you can find it cheap. I don't know if it'll be worth your $10. It really will depend on the type of player you are. But if this does look interesting to you, then yeah, the $10 is probably worth it. You can't go wrong because it is a pretty fun game. But if you have any second thoughts on it, then you can always keep an eye on sales. If you do find a game being sold for relatively cheap during a Steam sale of some sort, then I definitely recommend picking it up. So there you go, guys, Cargo Commander. If you guys enjoyed this, if you guys found this useful in any way, please let me know, send me some love, like, share, fave, and comment. But most importantly, please subscribe, help me grow, and feed me my vegetables. Thanks for watching, guys. All the shout outs.